What if everything you thought you knew about your favorite black celebrities was only half the truth? Behind red carpets and record deals are stories that challenge everything about love, identity, and authenticity in Hollywood. These aren't just entertainers. They're revolutionaries rewriting the rules of fame and sexuality under the brightest spotlights. From secret romances to bold confessions, from quiet revelations to unapologetic declarations, 11 remarkable figures have shattered expectations and expanded what it means to live authentically. Some embraced labels, others rejected them entirely. All refused to be defined by anyone but themselves. Tonight, discover the untold truths that Hollywood tried to keep hidden. Stories of courage, complexity, and the revolutionary act of simply being yourself. Subscribe now because these stories will challenge everything you thought you knew about identity, authenticity, and the price of living your truth in the spotlight. Jada Pinkett Smith, the boundary breaker. Jada Pinkett Smith has never followed conventional scripts, whether in films like Set It Off and The Matrix or her personal life. Born in Baltimore in 1971, she consistently challenges societal expectations around identity, womanhood, and sexuality through her platform and personal revelations. While identifying as heterosexual, Jada spoke candidly about her experiences with women during youth on her Facebook Watch series, Red Table Talk. She described sexuality as existing on a spectrum rather than rigid categories, embracing complexity and describing love as deeply human and unpredictable. Her approach has garnered both praise and criticism. Some applaud her for dismantling stigma, others accuse her of oversharing. But Jada remains undeterred, believing meaningful dialogue about sex, identity, and relationships leads to greater understanding. In a world demanding clear labels, she resists categorization, reflecting many individuals' lived experiences whose sexualities cannot be simplified into neat descriptors. Raven-symoné, the quiet revolutionary. Raven-symoné began her journey as a child star on The Cosby Show, then headlined Disney Channel's iconic That's So Raven. While millions watched her grow up on screen, her personal evolution around sexuality unfolded more privately and intentionally, demonstrating the power of controlled self-revelation. For much of her early career, Raven kept her personal life under wraps. In 2013, she made headlines tweeting in response to same-sex marriage legalization, "I can finally get married. Yay, government, so proud of you." The simple yet powerful message served as her quiet declaration to the world. Her decision to wait wasn't about shame, it was about control. Raven has been vocal about living authentically while maintaining privacy, addressing pressures of being a role model while navigating both sexuality and race in public. In 2020, she married Miranda Pierman-Madej in a private ceremony. Today, she continues advocating for LGBTQ+ youth, proving coming out doesn't need to be performative to be powerful. Frank Ocean, the genre revolutionary born. Christopher Edwin Breaux in 1987, Frank Ocean emerged as one of his generation's most distinctive voices through haunting lyrics, genre-blending sound, and quiet demeanor. But it wasn't just his music that made waves. It was the raw, poetic Tumblr letter he published before his 2012 album, Channel Orange, dropped. In that vulnerable post, Frank shared that his first love had been a man. It was a seismic moment for the music industry. In R&B, often saturated with machismo, his confession defied stereotypes and ignited urgent conversations. It wasn't calculated PR. It was unfiltered truth that hit like lightning. Frank's letter redefined what it meant to be a black man in music, especially in spaces where queer identity had been taboo. Artists like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Tyler, the Creator, publicly praised him. Since then, he's resisted traditional fame, avoiding interviews and carefully curating releases. His refusal to conform has only added to his influence, opening doors for younger LGBTQ+ artists and proving vulnerability is artistic strength. Beyoncé, the cultural architect. Beyoncé Knowles Carter, born in 1981 in Houston, is more than a global superstar. She's a cultural architect whose influence extends far beyond music. Though she doesn't identify as gay, her connection to the queer community runs deep through unwavering support of marginalized communities and LGBTQ+ visibility. When Frank Ocean came out in 2012, Beyoncé responded with powerful solidarity, posting a tribute reading, "Be fearless, be honest, be generous, be brave, be poetic, be open, be free." Her support extends beyond social media gestures. Through music, she's embraced gender fluidity and sexual empowerment. Her 2016 Lemonade visual album featured Black queer artists and filmmakers behind the scenes. In 2019, she and Jay-Z received the GLAAD Vanguard Award for LGBTQ+ visibility contributions. She used her speech to acknowledge brave trailblazers living their truths openly, paying tribute to her late Uncle Johnny, a gay man who helped raise her and introduced her to fashion and performance, demonstrating how allyship becomes deeply integrated into artistry. Jay-Z, the culture shifter. Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, stands as one of hip-hop's most successful figures. Born in Brooklyn in 1969, he rose from poverty to become a billionaire entrepreneur. But what sets him apart is using his power to open doors for voices often silenced in the rap community. Historically, hip-hop hasn't been welcoming to LGBTQ+ artists, with hypermasculinity and homophobia ruling the narrative. When Frank Ocean came out publicly in 2012, Jay-Z was among the first mainstream figures offering visible support. In a 2013 CNN interview, he said, "This is the time to be open. It's discrimination, plain and simple." Jay-Z has used his platform to spotlight Black men, including queer men, discussing vulnerability and identity. In 2019, he and Beyoncé received the GLAAD Vanguard Award. His song, "Smile," pays tribute to his mother, Gloria Carter, who came out as a lesbian later in life, featuring her spoken reflection, "Love who you love because life isn't guaranteed." By supporting LGBTQ+ individuals, Jay-Z is redefining allyship in Black masculinity. RuPaul, the drag revolution born. RuPaul Andre Charles in 1960, the Atlanta performer didn't just enter entertainment, he conquered it. Before terms like gender non-conforming were mainstream vocabulary, RuPaul was serving glamour, wit, and unapologetic truth, becoming one of history's most influential gay Black entertainers through sheer force of personality. RuPaul first rose to prominence in the early 1990s with Supermodel, You Better Work, playing with gender, beauty, and stardom like never before. His brilliance in merging music, television, fashion, and activism set him apart. From the beginning, RuPaul was out and proud, a bold act when few LGBTQ+ public figures could be. His show, RuPaul's Drag Race, launched in 2009, became a global phenomenon, introducing drag to mainstream audiences while creating space for LGBTQ+ performers of color to be celebrated. Underneath wigs and sequins, RuPaul built a platform championing self-acceptance and transformation, becoming a trailblazer for Black queer youth seeking validation in a world telling them they were too much. Kerry Washington, the thoughtful ally. While Kerry Washington is celebrated for powerful roles, particularly Olivia Pope in Scandal, she's earned praise for her bold stance as an LGBTQ+ ally. Though not publicly identifying as gay, her inclusion comes from unwavering commitment to visibility, representation, and identity fluidity, especially for Black women. Born in 1977 in the Bronx, Washington has challenged traditional depictions of Black womanhood through acting and activism, pushing for narratives including nuance and complexity. This includes exploring queerness on screen, often portraying bisexual or sexually fluid characters with dignity and authenticity. Rather than deny or entertain sexuality rumors, Washington uses speculation as a springboard for larger conversations about identity and privacy. She once stated, "I don't live my life according to labels. I live my life according to love." Her allyship extends beyond rhetoric, working with GLAAD and GL-SEN, advocating for queer Black voices in media. In 2015, she received the GLAAD Vanguard Award for contributions to LGBTQ+ equality, proving allyship is vocal, intentional, and rooted in justice. Tyler, the creator, the genre disruptor. Tyler, the creator, has always thrived in contradiction. Loud yet reserved, vulgar yet poetic. Born Tyler Gregory Okonma in 1991, the California native burst onto the scene with collective Odd Future, gaining attention and controversy through chaotic beats, dark humor, and confrontational lyrics that challenged hip-hop conventions. In 2017, Tyler released Flower Boy, marking a turning point in tone and substance. Lyrics like, "I've been kissing white boys since 2004" sent shockwaves through a genre where homophobia had gone unchecked. The vulnerability felt authentic, not a stunt, but introspection that rewrote rules about queer expression. Since then, Tyler has dropped breadcrumbs across interviews and performances, never labeling himself, but often alluding to his sexuality. His 2019 Grammy-winning album, Igor, explored heartbreak and unrequited love with male subjects clearly in focus. Tyler's refusal to categorize himself mirrors many young people's experiences today, seeing sexuality as fluid and personal. He's made space for non-traditional masculinity expressions, performing in pastel suits and embracing camp aesthetics unapologetically. Rihanna, the mysterious mogul. Robin Rihanna Fenty, born in 1988 in Barbados, is an unstoppable force. Singer, fashion mogul, beauty entrepreneur, and cultural icon. While she's built a billion-dollar empire in public, she's managed to keep parts of her private life intriguingly veiled, demonstrating the power of strategic mystery. Over the years, speculation has surrounded her sexuality, especially after a 2011 bombshell claim suggested she had a past romantic encounter with a woman. Model Taja Burton released a memoir hinting at an affair with a female singer from Barbados. While no names were mentioned, many fans interpreted clues as pointing toward Rihanna. Though Rihanna has never confirmed same-sex relationships, her public persona is marked by deliberate openness to fluidity. She's spoken about attraction and chemistry regardless of gender, and her Savage X Fenty brand casts LGBTQ+ models as part of her inclusive mission. What sets Rihanna apart is confidence in saying nothing at all, never addressing rumors directly while building a brand celebrating diversity and supporting LGBTQ+ rights globally. Lena Waithe, the visible trailblazer. Lena Waithe emerged as one of Hollywood's most visible Black lesbian voices, using her platform to create authentic LGBTQ+ representation both on and off screen. Born in 1984 in Chicago, she made history as the first Black woman to win an Emmy for comedy writing for her work on Master of None. During her 2017 Emmy acceptance speech, Lena declared, "The things that make us different, those are our superpowers." She used the moment to inspire LGBTQ+ youth, particularly those of color, demonstrating how visibility can be a form of activism and empowerment for marginalized communities. Beyond awards recognition, Lena has consistently championed authentic storytelling through projects like The Chai and Queen and Slim. She's been vocal about the importance of creating opportunities for LGBTQ+ writers, directors, and actors in an industry that has historically excluded queer voices. Her marriage to Alana Mayo in 2019 was celebrated widely, symbolizing both personal happiness and representation for Black lesbian couples in media. Lena proves that visibility, when embraced authentically, becomes a powerful tool for change. These 11 remarkable individuals remind us that identity is not always meant to be defined. It's meant to be lived. From quiet revelations to bold declarations, from embracing labels to rejecting them entirely, each has challenged society to look deeper at what it truly means to live authentically in the spotlight. Whether proudly out, embracing fluidity without explanation, or serving as powerful allies, their journeys have shattered expectations and expanded the meaning of authenticity in Black entertainment. They've proven that courage comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a public declaration, sometimes it's private truth, and sometimes it's simply refusing to be boxed in by others' expectations. Their stories challenge us to move beyond our need for neat categories and embrace the beautiful complexity of human identity. In doing so, they've not just changed entertainment, they've changed hearts, minds, and possibilities for future generations. These stories celebrate courage, complexity, and unapologetic greatness. Share this video to honor those who've redefined what it means to live authentically, because everyone deserves the freedom to write their own story, whatever that story may be.